Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really happy to have you here. So I just wanted to do a bit of a chatty video today to talk about gut health and a bit about my journey and some things that have helped me, and kind of also do a bit of a supplement overhaul. Now I will preface this by saying that there is some staples, some basics basically to nail before you think about adding supplements in. I'll go into this a bit more as the video goes on, but I don't want this to be like, oh, take all these supplements, it's going to fix your gut and de-bloat and all of that shite you see on like the likes of TikTok and things like that. It really frustrates us. You have to nail the basics first. But anyway, I'm jumping ahead. I'm going to put some photos on or maybe some videos, see what I can dig out. I basically last year, for a bit of a background story, totally overhauled my gut health. I just had some ongoing issues that would always just flare up. I couldn't work out what was going on. I did pay for some private tests and then went from there with some like a process of elimination. And basically cow's milk was just irritating my stomach, which was gutting because I love dairy, but I was eating a lot of yogurt, cheese, pretty much every day, and having well, I had a feeling it was like dairy, so I'd been eating a lot of lactose free stuff, but was still having the issues. And obviously lactose free still contains cow's milk, so lactose free, yeah that's right. So I'd literally just, what I thought it was just not actually helping. By having lactose-free, I may as well have just been having normal milk and normal whatever. So yeah, I was having a lot of cow's milk, so it was just a high intolerance, which seems to have settled down now, but I still try and keep it to a minimum. It was quite hard at first because I was like, oh, my coffee's gonna taste gross, but I've found loads of alternative milks, which I've spoke about in other videos. Like I have pea milk, almond milk, coconut milk, all those, and I'm totally fine with them now. And like I say, I do have just normal like semi-skimmed milk now and then, and I do still have like some cow's milk dairy products as well now and then, but I just do try and keep that to a minimum because I find if I have too much, that's when it really upsets my stomach. But that was the main thing for me. Obviously everyone's really different, and that kind of was a turning point of like really nailing some basics that I hadn't been including in my diet to help my gut health. I was going for a lot of convenience, and again I was having a lot of protein bars and protein powder, which there's nothing wrong with. Sometimes we just need that convenience in life, but obviously because of the cow's milk which was in that, it was really upsetting my stomach quite a lot, which you will have seen from the photos and videos that I've put alongside this. So I switched to vegan protein. I couldn't really find any nice protein bars, like vegan ones, so I just kind of scrapped them altogether. And I've been feeling so much better from it since, and I've been able to stay on top of it like so much better now, because what was happening in the past is I thought it was something and I felt like, oh okay, I feel all right now, and then it would just flare up again and I couldn't pinpoint what it was. So having those tests really helped, and then just kind of like, I hate to use the term, but like cleaning up my diet a bit. Like I just like kind of did a bit of an overhaul of like, okay, like what's actually not working for me here, and what like is to still keep a balance without being restrictive, which I really feel like I've nailed. And like I say, this last year and a half now, or yeah, just over a year now, I've managed to stay on top of it. Don't get us wrong, I sometimes get bloated, especially like around my cycle and things like that, but I don't have any like ongoing bloating that's painful, which is what is an issue. Like some temporary bloating and inflammation isn't the worst thing in the world, and your tummy expanding when you're eating is also very different to bloating, so it's really important to understand that. So yeah, the main thing was obviously like finding out what was like triggering my stomach. You don't necessarily have to have private tests for these. You can do the elimination diet. It does take some time, but it is a really effective way to do so. Then like I say, just aiming for an 80-20 balance, which I have always had, and like don't get us wrong, sometimes I don't like have the best 80-20 balance, and that's normal, that's life, but for the most part aiming for an 80-20 balance. So what that is 80% whole foods, 20% soul foods is what I like to call it. So your whole foods, you know, your nutrient dense foods, your fruits, your veggies, your proteins, all that, and then your soul foods like, you know, your pizza, your chocolate, your crisps, like having food in that you love with a nice balance to keep your gut feeling good and also keep your mindset feeling good, because you don't want to restrict anything that you enjoy, because the second you say you don't want, or you're not going to have something, then you're just going to want it even more. And life's about balance, so, and that's going to give you like way more longevity and help you to reach your goals in the long run. So that's the main thing I would say, is aiming for that 80-20 balance and having a lot of whole foods, including more fermented foods as well. So like yogurt, so now I have like a plant-based like soy yogurt, which is okay for me. Some people can't have soy, so again, this is like, you know, obviously applying this to you, but just thought I would add that in there as well. Obviously yogurt, kimchi, I can never say it, sauerkraut, like all that sort of stuff. Adding those things in can really help with your gut health as well. Staying hydrated as well is really important. So you can also get some of that from your foods like cucumber, tomato, all those sorts of like water foods. And then obviously your water, so drinking, aiming to drink 2 to 3 litres a day, including herbal teas can help with this as well. And also herbal teas can help to settle and help your food digest. So like peppermint tea, lemon and ginger, you can even get like a digestion tea, rooibos tea, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but all of those kind of herbal teas will count towards your water intake. Things like caffeine can dehydrate you, so try not to have too much caffeine as well, and sometimes too much caffeine can irritate your stomach, so something to keep in mind as well. And that's something else that I've massively reduced it, mainly because I found it was making us anxious when I was having too much caffeine, but also it can really irritate you. Haven't cut it out completely. I still have a coffee and a matcha a day. Again, it's all about that balance that works for you. And something else that really is, or 2 things I would say that are really overlooked when it comes to your gut health, is stress management and sleep. Without getting enough sleep, your body isn't getting the time to recoup and repair, and that can have a massive effect on your gut, and same with stress. So your gut is linked to everything. They kind of say it's like your second brain. It's linked to your cycle health, it's linked to your mental health on the gut brain axis, like so much stuff. So it's really important that you look after it, and when you are stressed because of that gut brain axis link, it can really upset your stomach. And if you think now, if you didn't know this, because when I found this out I was like, that makes so much sense, and I see it now, if I ever get really stressed, I get like a really inflamed tummy and feel that bloated feeling, and it's not good. So trying to manage that as best you can. Of course, like life is going to bring about stresses, but it's just trying to bring that to a minimum. And something that really helped me before eating is taking 3 deep breaths and eating without distractions, so that I could actually properly eat my food and enjoy it, and that really helps with digestion. But before eating, taking 3 deep breaths, so in through the nose, out through the mouth, to just take my body, like, you know, put my body into a relaxed state. What these 3 deep breaths do is activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which basically puts your body in a relaxed state, gets your body out of a stressed fight or flight state. And if you find yourself getting stressed throughout the day, this is again something that I try and do. If I can feel myself getting like overwhelmed and stressed with my to-do list or whatever it is, I'll just take a second to do 3 deep breaths to get my body out of that fight or flight, like stressful state. So just a couple of tips there to think about. And then, like I say, including some supplements in that can help to support your gut health. But these supplements, as I mentioned at the start there in the video, are not miracle workers. If you are not nailing those basics with your nutrition, like managing stress, managing sleep, drinking enough water, they're not going to outdo anything else, if that makes sense. So it's really important that I highlight that and say that first and foremost. But want to talk through some of the supplements that I use. I'm not saying that again you have to use these, it's just about what works for you. But some of these have really helped me. So like I mentioned, I have them all here. So I'm in my kitchen. I don't think I've ever filmed in here before. So vegan protein is what I switched to. So I use this one from Women's Best. To be honest, I have the chocolate and the cookie and cream flavour, but this vanilla goes with everything. I struggled to find a vanilla vegan protein. Vanilla for me, I just think it goes with everything. It just absolutely everything. It goes in smoothies, pancakes, waffles, oats, and it just goes with everything. Like, you know, sometimes you get chocolate, it doesn't really go with certain things. So I have got them in there, the vegan ones, as a backup, and I've heard the banana chocolate one's really good, which I haven't actually had a chance to try yet. But like I say, vanilla is a staple. I've just had some more delivered because this is starting to get a little bit low. I personally really like this. Again, I feel like taste's a very personal thing when people ask, but I really like it, and this has really helped me. I don't have any adverse side effects from this, so that is the one that I use. And I also use this marine collagen, so again, a good protein boost, but this can also help to protect your gut lining, as well as the protein boost, and it's really good for your skin, hair and nails as well, which is always very welcome. So again, I'm not saying this is a miracle workout and it's going to just change everything, but this is just something that I like to include, and I've spoken about this in my other videos before, because on the morning I have my little cacao drink, I add this in, and I also add in my L-glutamine, again really good for gut health, and a lot of people that I speak to use this and say they've experienced really good like effects and results from this as well, in terms of like helping to heal their bloating and gut health. So something that can really help with, I would definitely recommend L-glutamine, but I do include these, and often my greens powder, I sometimes add that in there if I know I'm having a low day with veggies or whatever it might be, to give a little boost. Again, you know, I see a lot on social media about like, drink this greens de-bloat drink. Like, I'm certainly not saying that. I would always recommend to get your greens and your nutrients from real food first, but this can be good as an addition to add in to get some extra nutrients, if you feel like you need it. Like, often if I'm away for the weekend, for example, and I know I'm a bit all over the place, it's a bit harder to be in control of my, like, what I'm eating and things like that. And like, you know, I'm not always, like I say, you know, I'm out of control, I'm not sure where we're going to be eating and all that stuff. This is something that I would take with us, and maybe add in just on a morning or whatever it might be. Another one as well, so creatine, not just for the gym bros. I do take this every day to help with muscle growth. Also helps with performance, so I have it, again, I'll normally add it into my morning drink with those, my morning cacao drink with those things as well. Helps with performance, I'll have it before the gym. As I say, it helps with muscle, but it actually also is really beneficial for your gut as well. So just always worth mentioning that, as it's not just for the bros. Look, that is pathetic. But yeah, another one to keep in mind for lots of benefits. Love creatine, I've been taking that for years, 5 grams a day, every day, and yeah, like even on rest days. So that's the main one. And then Women's Best have actually just brought out their new gut health range. Look at this jazzy box. So it literally comes with a full breakdown. It's so very pretty, of everything, with a full like newspaper, which is really good. And this is now live, like it's just launched. It's been a long time in the making, and we've done a grand old job of this, but I have had these for a while to use. So what these are, to talk you through them, is so they've got some de-bloat biotics, some vaginal biotics, another important thing to keep in mind, and also daily flora biotics. So again, these can be really beneficial to include into your daily routine to help. But as I mentioned, you know, they're not just gonna completely transform your gut if you're not nailing those basics as well. So I'd always say to have the foundations and then add in any supplements. And I know this might look like a lot, but this is something that I have fine-tuned over a long period of time and found what works for me. It's not, I'm not saying you have to use absolutely all of these, but even if you just started, for example, just with a daily flora probiotic, see how you feel from there. And then like build on that and see what works for you. You certainly don't have to spend a fortune on supplements to see progress. I just wanted to share, this is something that I'm asked about quite a lot, and just kind of share what works for me and what I use. So like I say, these are quite recent ones, but so far so good. To be fair, the vaginal biotics is not something that I had ever really used before, so this was quite an interesting one. So I will report back when I've used them for even longer. I've had this now for over a month and been using these. So once I've been using these a bit longer, I'll be able to report back a bit more, but as I say, so far so good. And I used to just have a probiotic anyway, so that's just kind of replaced that one. And then also as well have magnesium every night before bed. Again, this is not necessarily anything to do with your gut health, but helps with recovery, it helps around your cycle, but especially in the luteal and the menstrual phases, they can really help with that. So always would recommend a magnesium, 2 tablets a day before bed, easy peasy. So quite a simple one. Like I say, I'm not taking like loads, it might look like I'm taking loads of stuff, sorry, but to me it's just part of my daily routine and the habits that I've built in. But whatever works for you is the most important thing. I just want to do a little breakdown of those, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to pop them below. I'm happy to answer any on them. But as I say, looking after your gut is so important. It's linked to so many things. Nail those basics first. Find a supplement routine that works for you if you want to add any in. Take it nice and slowly, and then slowly add on, and just, you know, listen to your body, how, like, you know, checking kind of like your biofeedback. How is your body responding to that? Do you think it's helping? Do you think it's not really doing anything different? And then, you know, adjust from there. But as I say, happy to help with any questions that you've got on any of these things, or any kind of gut health related questions. But want to share a bit about that, as I've never spoken about my gut health journey on YouTube. So just want to make a bit of a longer video about that. And yeah, I hope it's been helpful, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you do not already, and I will see you on the next one.